Now, the practice, ICT in practice, important is to note the reasons why they say they use the ICT, their purpose when using the ICT. In this sense, we can find two different groups in the answers given. First of all, Bulgaria, Italy, and Estonia. In these countries, most of the students use ICT both for work and also for personal needs. So we can say that there is a first group of students among our informants who are interested in learning, in improving their ICT skills, both for work and for personal needs. On the other hand, there is a second group that made up by Spain and France, in which students or the people in this group said that they are mostly interested in learning ICT for personal use or for personal reasons. This may have to do with the fact that the vast majority of people in this country who have answered our questionnaire were already retired or unemployed. In our questionnaire, there was an item in which we asked the student to state those ICT that you have at home and consequently those that they use regularly. In this sense, those ICT that are principally used by the students and informant are the mobile phone, the computer, and also most of them have an internet access. The use of other sources of ICT are more scarce, are not so present also in their everyday life. Our informant were also asked whether they can count on someone to help in case they had problems with using the ICT. In this sense, we can observe two quite different trends. There is a first group in which students said that they have help. They do count with someone to help us. These are the group made up by students in Bulgaria, Italy, Estonia, and Hungary. However, there is a second group that made up by our informant in Spain and France who said that they don't have anybody to rely on in case they have a problem with the ICT. Naturally and not surprisingly, there was another item in which we asked them please to report who could help them in case they find those difficulties. In this sense, the majority of our students said that they usually rely on a relative. So it is friends and also teachers who can help them in case they ask for a question, they have any kind of hindrance, difficulty, or problem. When asked what they used their PC for, again we find that there are two different groups. On the one hand, we find the people in Bulgaria, Italy, and Estonia who said that they basically use their PC as a text processor, with a 26% of them who report using it pretty well. There is a second kind of usage, which is the internet, and in that case the proportion is higher because almost 60% of them report being able to use it quite well, quite naturally. And also the third aspect, the third use of the PC was the database, with a percentage of 50% of our students who report using it really well, quite confidently. On the other hand, as we said, there is another group which is that made up of people informant in Spain, Hungary, and France. We find that word processing and the internet are the most common uses of the PC that this informant makes. When being asked what they use the internet for, basically they said that the most important use of the internet for them is the email. So it is generally in order to email others and to get in contact that they get connected. Also of remarkable important, is the use of self-learning and that of e-banking, though the proportions in that case are lower. Another item in our questionnaire was the amount of time spent on the internet, on using the internet. So we asked our students how many hours a week they usually use their PC. In this case, half the respondents reported using the PC from 2 to 6 hours per week on average. Also of importance for us was we wanted to know also how many hours a week the students, the informants, surf the net, not only use the PC, but also in particular how long they spend on surfing the net. In that case, a large number of users, a percentage of 64, said that they use the internet more than 5 hours per week. Only 6% of the respondents didn't use the internet at all. Apparently, the use of the internet and that of the computer are not very dissimilar in essence. So those students who usually spend a time on their PC, using their PC, also are connected to the internet. While using a computer, then learners like to be connected to the internet for different reasons. Well, now that we have reported or we have made an account of the most important results obtained, we are going to move now into the most important aspects that we found of remarkable important to discuss about. From our point of view, it is important to note that our students perceive this kind of ICT learning as something really valuable. So we can say that we infer that the level of motivation is high according to what we have said. They are motivated to learn because they think that it is a useful and valuable kind of learning. Their interest in learning basically rests on two aspects. On the one hand, to improve their employment possibilities, and on the second hand, because they think that ICT skills can improve their social life as well. In the first case, when talking about improving their work conditions, our informant seems to want to feel better in their work environment, and in the second case, when considering their social life, they report to believe that it is important not to feel left apart in this framework of the information society. And with the help of the ICT, this seems twice as possible. Not to feel excluded, I mean. Because of the heterogeneity of the group that we have analyzed. Okay, well, another important conclusion from our point of view is that because of the heterogeneity of the group we have analyzed, we can divide into two groups everything that has to do with their focus. We're considering their focus. So on the one hand, we've got the case of Italy, Bulgaria and Estonia that probably due to the fact that they have the younger population, people there seems to have a higher interest or a higher focus in professional and social reasons together. So they're interested in learning or improving their ICT skill both for professional and for social reasons. Whereas in the case of Spain and France, the more widespread use of ICT is the private, personal ones. This may have to do, as we have already anticipated, with the fact that in these organizations, the students, most of the students are essentially, or most of them, retired. Moving now to the reasons why, moving now to the household equipment, what they already count with, we can say that basically Our students count with mobile phones, internet access, and computer. However, other kind of technical devices such as cameras or printers are less frequent. They are more scarce than the previous ones, so our students are not so familiar with them. When considering the use of PC, we have already noted that the majority of it, the vast majority of time that they spend using the PC has to do with word processing and also with email. So consequently, when asked about the use of the internet, email is a really appreciated technique or tool. The interest in the internet as a source of information is both for professional and for leisure. As we have said before, the sample, the total amount of person that we have had as important was quite heterogeneous, so that's why the reasons can be so apparently different. When considering the learning, lo siento, me he equivocado, es que he vuelto a leerla. And also in relation to the use of ICT, in our questionnaire we were interested in knowing whether the students have any kind of help in case they find any obstacle, hindrance, or they have a question. In this case, except for the case in Spain and France, those other students from the other institutions said that they have help when tackling the use of ICT. And not only have help, but if they have problems, they also have someone who helped them to solve the problem, mainly a relative, a classmate, a teacher, or someone of their immediate environment. Regarding now the use they make of the PC, we have agreed that basically the time spent on using the PC, on using the computer, is the same as the time used on the internet. So the vast majority of time students spend on using the PC, they are connected to the internet to know what happens in the world and so on. So in general, and we are about to finish now with that, we can say that our students believe that it is good, that it is necessary to enroll in ICT courses in order to learn properly, so they are happy with receiving training as regards ICT skills. And also, we can say that those students participating in our survey have manifested their strong willingness for more training and more development in these technological aspects, and also in the social facets as well. So thank you very much for your attention. That's all.